Greetings, math fans. All right, so this is day one of chapter 7b, and the first thing we're going to start out with is our day one notes here. It says, look at the following expressions. Can you find what each group has in common? All right, so if you kind of look, move this down a little bit. So you guys agree that it has one term. Let's talk a little bit what a term is. A term is, well, actually, this is a good example. Group 1 is a term. Each one of those is a term. Okay, so it can have x's, it can have y's, you have exponents, and it has any variable, but there is no plus or minus between them. So if I do, like if I look at group 2, this has got two terms, that 3x and that 2, it's two terms. If I look at group 4, this has four terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. A term is separated, all terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So a term, if I said how many terms does it have, each of these have one term. Okay, it's one term, one term, one term. Okay, there's no plus or minus between them. Now you might say, well, wait a second, there's a negative here, but that's great, it's negative, but it's not like 5 minus 2xy. Okay, so it has one term. We call, this name for that is called a monomial, M-O-N-O-M-I-A-L, a monomial. All right, mono means one. All right, group 2. Do you guys agree each of these have two terms? Okay, two terms. And so you're going to write two terms, and this name is called just like a bike, two wheels, so bi, so it's binomial. Okay, and group 3, three terms. Each one has three terms, right? Okay. And so that's 3, and we call this a like tricycle, trinomial. And anything with 4 or more. So this is 4 or more. So we'll write this here. How many terms? 4 or more. We call it's a name, like a generic name. It's called a polynomial. Okay, poly means many. Okay. All right, so a polynomial function is a function that has these characteristics. So technically, math fans, all of these are polynomials. Okay, that's a polynomial, that's a polynomial, that's a polynomial. All right, but that's a special name. When it's got one term, it is a polynomial, but it's one term, so we call it a monomial. Okay, two terms, it's still a polynomial, but it's a special name, we call it a binomial. And 3 terms, it still is a polynomial, but it's got 3 terms, so again, our special name is trinomial. But then anything big, 4 or bigger, it's just automatically called a polynomial. Okay? All right. So a polynomial function is a function that has 3 characteristics. No variable can have negative exponents. Okay, this is kind of pretty basic stuff here. No negative exponents and no variables in the denominator. So like a 1 over x cubed is not a term. It's not a polynomial. Okay, so you can't have that. No variable can have fractional exponents when simplified. So not that it's a big deal, but you can't have x to the 2/3 power. Okay, can't have that. And a polynomial is comprised of separate terms. Terms are separated by pluses or minuses. Kind of like looking back at these problems here, right? It says it's separate terms. They're separated by pluses and minuses. Here's a plus, here's a plus, here's a plus, here's a minus. Okay, pretty straightforward. So the next thing is called descending order. Descending order is highest exponent to the lowest exponent. So in other words, something like x to the 7th could be a high exponent, and something that x squared or x or just a number, that could be a low exponent. So it's biggest exponent to smallest, and actually the last term is always going to be a number, like 5. So some number. Okay? So it says which of the following are in descending order. Okay, this has got, again, I don't care about the number in front. I only care about, I'm going to highlight this. I only care about the 2. This is a 1, and this is a constant term. We say it's 5. So this is in descending order. This is not, because the 2 is in the middle here, and there's a 1 here. It needs to be written as x squared plus 2x minus 5. Okay, this one is, because it's a 5, then a 3, then a 2, then a number. Okay, so this one is good. And this one is not. Again, we're going to put the x to the fifth first, and then minus 8x cubed, and then plus 2x squared, and then minus 5. That's now in descending order. Okay? All right, degree is, what you do is you look at the term with the highest exponent. Oops, EX. Okay, you look at the term with the highest exponent. All right, so let's going back to these problems I just did here. This degree for letter A is degree 2. The degree for this one is also degree 2. The degree for C is degree 5. The degree for D is also 5. Okay, because of this 5 right here and this 2 here. Okay, so that's what it means by degree. All right, so these guys says put in standard form, descending order, then identify the type and the degree. So in standard form just means highest to lowest. It's descending order. That's what standard form is. Okay, so that negative belongs to the 7 or the 3x to the 7th. So we're going to start out with negative 3x to the 7th. Okay, and then the next term is going to be 5x squared, so plus 5x squared. And the next term is going to be plus 6x, and the next term is going to be minus 2. Okay, the type means it's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, so it's a polynomial. And the degree is 7, because that's 7 right there. All right, pretty straightforward. Okay, the next one, standard form, is going to be negative 4x to the 9th plus x cubed minus 2x. Okay, highest degree. And remember, this is an exponent of 1. Just helps you. Okay, so it's 3 terms, so it's called a trinomial, and its degree is degree 9, because 9 is the highest exponent. Okay, standard form is going to be 3x squared plus 11. The type is binomial, because it's 2 terms, and its degree is 2 because of the 2 right there. Okay, standard form, well, 10x to the 15th. There's only 1 term, so it is a monomial. It's, sorry, I spelled it wrong. M-O-N-O-M. Let me write it again. Monomial. Monomial. Okay, and its degree is 15 because of that exponent of 15. Okay, so another thing we have to kind of remember here, guys, we're going to add and subtract polynomials together. All right, you guys remember, let me just do a little review. When you do x squared, let's say 5x squared plus 3x squared. If you've got 5x squareds in your hand and I hand you 3 more x squareds, how many x squareds do you have? You have 8x squareds. You don't have 8x to the 4ths, which is a common mistake. People add these together. Okay, that is not correct. It's 8x squared. So keep that in mind. That's really, really important. Okay, when you're adding and subtracting, because we're going to do that a lot in these next few problems here. So if there's a plus sign in between here, basically what you need to do is rewrite everything with the same sign. So this is what I mean. You get 8x squared plus 7x minus 3, and then because this is a plus here, it's just going to be plus x squared. So you keep the sign. That's positive, minus 12x minus 9. All right, so I literally didn't do anything. I literally just wrote this down here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to combine like terms. So a like term, that's kind of a good thing to know. Let's write that down. A like term basically has the same variable and the same exponent. And you can only add like terms together. Okay? I mean, that's the only thing you can add together are like terms. That's a better way to look at it. So for example, when I'm looking at this problem here, this 8x squared and 1x squared, I can add those together. So 8, and this is a 1 here, right? So 8x squared plus 1x squared is 9x squared. Not 9x to the fourth. You leave the exponent the same. Okay? The next one is going to be 7x minus 12x is negative 5x. All right? And then the last one is negative 3 minus 9 is negative 12. And that's your answer to that problem. All right? Let's try the next one, number 6. Again, it's plus, so I'm just going to rewrite it. X to the fourth minus 5x plus 10x cubed plus x to the fourth plus x cubed minus 6x squared. Okay, so that gives me x to the fourth plus x to the fourth is 2x to the fourth. So cross them off. And then we're going to do x to the third. So 10x cubed plus 1x cubed is plus 11x cubed. That's that one. Okay, and then we only have one negative 6x squared, so we're going to write it, negative 6x squared. That's out of there, and then one negative 5x. And that's your answer. Okay. So here's the deal too, math fans. If you have a negative between them, what this does is it changes the sign. So it changes the sign of every term after. So every term after. So it doesn't do anything with this. It literally just changes every sign here. So I can write 8x squared minus 2x plus 5, and then it's going to be minus 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Change the sign of every term in there. So it went from 2x squared to negative 2x squared, 7x to negative 7x, and negative 3 to positive 3. All right, and then I combine like terms. 8x squared minus 2x squared is 6x squared. Negative 2x minus 7x is negative 9x. All right, and then 5 plus 3 is 8. And that's your answer. Okay, not bad. Okay, let's look at number 8. Again, there's a minus here, so we change the sign over here for every term. So we get x to the 6th minus 4x plus 11x to the 10th plus x to the 10th plus 2x to the 6th minus 7 plus 3x. Okay, and so now what I want to do is I want to get my like terms. Let's go again descending order. So it's going to be 11x to the 10th plus 1x to the 10th is 12x to the 10th. And then we have 1x to the 6th plus 2x to the 6th. And that gives us 3x to the 6ths. And then it gives us negative 4x plus 3x is negative x. And then minus 7. And that's your answer. Okay? Not too bad. Just remember, when you have a negative, you change the sign of every term after it. If it's positive, you leave the same sign. Okay, so there's the last problem here, math fans. It says find the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is distance around something. So if I add all these together, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the x squared and the 3x squared and the 3x squared and the x squared. So that gives me 4x squared plus 4x squared. It gives me 8x squared. Okay, we used all of the squared terms. And now we're going to say the thing that's left are the 2x's here. And so we're going to say plus 2x is 4x. And then we're going to add the constants together. Plus 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus 4 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Okay? And that's it. And it's in descending order, so we're good to go. That's the answer to that problem. Okay, so that's it, math fans. That is day 1. Again, learning a little bit about what terms are, about polynomials, special cases with that, and basically that's it. It's you got to know this basic stuff in order to be successful in the later stuff. All right, so that's it, math fans. Have an outstanding day. Adios. Goodbye.